Now he's talking.
What recession is. What is recession? What is recession? Can I have the control? Can I have the control?
No.
So you gotta be running with me. Great. So let's make some progress. Let's start with recession. What is recession? What economic decline is. That's a picture of what a recession is in the first place. But there are several indicators that is actually in place. How do you know? Low economic what? Activity. How do you know there's a recession? Loss of jobs. Massive loss of jobs. How do you know there's a recession? Production capacity does what? Declines. When the production capacity declines, what happens to the entire economy? The entire economy shrinks. There's a recession. A lot of people can no longer afford it willingly. And when the economy shrinks and the production capacity is low, something really happens in the system. The people in that system, something begins to affect their behavior. Next slide. Something begins to affect their behavior. What is that? Fear, panic. That's the way people react to what? To recession. People they do what? Majority of the people will do what? When there is a recession, what happens to the people's response? Majority of the people are in what? Fear, panic, in depression. Is that correct? Has anybody in this ever been depressed because of the economy? Absolutely. When people are in fear, that is the way people generally react to it. People are afraid that they are going to lose their jobs. People are afraid of uncertainty because you no longer know what might happen tomorrow. But guess what? The interesting thing is that leaders do not react. Leaders do not what? React. Leaders handle their own in certain ways. My job as a leadership coach that has spent 27 years in this business, I can tell you that leaders think differently. There's a way leaders react to this differently. And number one in that context is mind what? Mind leadership. Have you ever heard about a concept called mind leadership before? Mind leadership is a concept that I sat down, to think over a period of time. And I basically realized that people fail from their mind. Positioning the mind is the greatest asset of anybody in all times, even in times of recession. In time of recession, in this particular period, do you know that COVID-19 in this particular period also became another factor that impacted the world like never before? True, of course. But can I shock you that many people died not because of COVID-19 itself? They died because of what? Fear. So what do you do in times like this? When people are afraid, people are worried, people are filled with anxiety, what does the leader do? The leader moves into the body called mind leadership. So what is mind leadership? Mind leadership is the ability of an individual to create a state of what? Control. A state of control, which means you determine what gets into your mind or not. A mind, you actually lead from your mind. What does that mean? You actually control, lock your mind, you determine what comes in and comes out. So if there is a lot of worry outside the environment, in your mind there's peace. So there's excitement. So which means you can interpret several things, giving it your own interpretation. Everybody says Nigerian economy is bad. What do you say as a person who has mind leadership? There is money in this house. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
There are opportunities here in this house. So your mindset is packaged in a way that is the ability to create a state of control, excitement, peace, insight, inspiration, perspective in his or his mind, transmitted from where? From the subconscious mind. So which means I decide the way that I feel. I'll give you a very clear example. I ran for governor of Imo State in the last election. When I went to the field with all my 100% belief system, my mindset was I will win this election 100%. I'm not joking. 100%. In my mind, 100%. I was ready, prepared. I went into the field. Whoa! They gave me a blow on different directions. Well, even the ones anticipated, the ones I didn't anticipate, the money I lost was something else. But in my mind, people said, whoa, that I came 6, right, out of 72 people. They said I lost the election. I said, no, I did not lose. I paid forward.
Yes, yes, sir.
Did you understand the thinking?
Yes, sir.
Then at the end of the election, and I began to reflect what exactly happened. That while the election was going on the day of voting, I had seen a young man who was buying votes in my presence. I left all my security men in my house as a good Nigerian, obeying the law. And I called the policeman standing. I said, this man, look at him, he's buying votes. The policeman looked at me, looked at the young man. He said, oh, God, I don't see anybody. So I picked myself. Whether I was dreaming or I was alive. So I looked at the policeman, looked at. So I was reflecting the situation. Ordinarily, you should be hit with depression at that stage. Because you feel that you have wasted the money. But you know, I didn't do that. I took control of my mind and I said, where is the next opportunity? I started to Google who are the best guys I want to go overseas to spend time with and reinvent myself. The next thing, first person I saw, John Maxwell, exchange program, £17,500 to spend 5 days in London. How much did I save? For a man who has just been what? Who has paid forward.
You need to cover the signal.
And I went, I checked the second one, branch racing, California, how much? $10,000. I checked another one. And at the end of the day, there were 3 courses that I needed to do in that year. From a perspective that was not convenient for me. But my mindset says, what? It has to be done. To shock you. At the end of November, I had attended the entire courses. In London, in California. I came back to Nigeria and in less than 6 months, we created the first leadership center in this country that is comprehensive. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
so what I'm saying is that the mind leadership is actually what powers you. So just get back to the next slide. Just get back to the last one. Yes. If you look at the second division of mind leadership, it says mind leadership is the ability of an individual to continue to do what? Plant what? Positive thoughts. Is that action word or not? To continue to do what? To do what? To continue to plant. Your responsibility is to do what?
Plant.
To plant. When there are negative things around, what do? You plant positive thoughts. The next one is what? Ideas. Ideas. You plant ideas. So when people are thinking about things not working, your mind is thinking about the next idea. You plant ideas. Look at it. Values and what? Visions. The mindset is not a place where you waste time with. The mindset is a center of imaginations. It's a center of creativity. It's a center of giving birth to ideas that can change the life of any nation. Look at it. Dreams and emotions in his or her subconscious mind with the purpose of what? Getting motivation, inspiration, and perspective for daily. It's like taking an energy drug. You know what's called energy drug? It's like this is the or you survive these economic hard times. Your mind must live in a different time zone. And that is that state of the big difference. If that doesn't happen in your mind, you have not started the journey. Which industry do you want to play in? You play in the industry first. Use all of the skyscrapers in your mind and build all the continents you have traveled to in your mind. Ask Dr. Stephen Akintaya, he will tell you that he built those things first, all the travels in his mind before he started traveling. Call it daydreaming, you're on your own. So, there's something called mind security. What is mind security? You use a key and lock your mind from all the negative feelings and then replace it with all the positive what? Thinking. Let's go. That's mind leadership. So now we're talking about mind power. What is mind power? There are elements of mind power. How do I know an individual? Know that you have mind power. It's your language. Do you know leaders have certain ways of speaking? If something is not working and a leader walks in, how do we go about this? And they say, this is not possible, sir. What do you do? Get deep behind me, Satan. Immediately. Such individuals should not be in the forefront of your ideas. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
How many of you have shared an idea with somebody who says this will never work?
Yes, sir.
So automatically, as a great leader from time in my space, everybody knows who works with me. If you are not a possibility thinker, you don't have a belief system that says this is possible, you can't spend time in my space. You can't. Because you contaminate my space. And I need clarity to be able to make progress. There's a difference between when we get into strategy, there's a difference when you start sharing ideas on how it's going to work than shutting it down from the beginning. That's the mindset. Mind power. Mind power only thinks about possibilities. You want to have the mind power as a leader? In your mind, everything works. Every idea works. Once you say it works, that's the beginning of what you need to progress. First thing first. I will never forget that day in government secondary school, Owerri, class 3. I have been thinking of being head boy. My school was about 50-something years old at that time. I wanted to be head boy. It's historical to be head boy. To be head boy was something amazing. Platform for service and growth. I was in class 3. I wanted to be head boy. It has eaten me up in my mind. So every day I thought about it. Then one day I was sitting in class. There was no teacher. You know what I did? I left my seat and came in front of the classroom. And I looked at the entire students. And I said to them, "Good afternoon, my fellow students. May I announce to you this afternoon that I will become your senior prefect. Thank you very much." As I took a bow, the next thing I thought they were going to clap. The next thing was laughter, and it generated mockery. And then I was asking, who sent me? Can this ground open so the Son of Man will enter? The ground refused to open. Thank God for lockers. So I ran to my locker in shame. As my head was about to come on my locker in shame, my mind into the future, and I saw myself being decorated as senior prefect. The moment I saw it, my mood changed. Excitement filled my mind. Confidence restored. Vision restores confidence. They were laughing. I had moved on. I moved to the stage of how. Strategy. Strategy is how. As I moved to the stage of strategy, I began to say, how will I become senior prefect? A lot of us stop with the destination, which is the vision. We don't sit down and spend time on how. So while I sat on how, number one, when I get to senior class, I will polish my sandals so I can see my face. Number one. Number two, I'll iron my school uniform so that I'll have ghetto feeling. Number three, I will move around and go to lecture teachers so they'll send me on errands. Because in politics, visibility is key.
Yes, sir.
So I moved. So as I moved, the fourth agenda was I was going to go to junior classes and I'll ask them, I hope no seniors come to molest you. They'll say, yes, senior. Number five, I will study so hard. Because in government secondary school, nobody gives head boy to somebody who doesn't have something up here. 5-point agenda set. The problem with most leaders is that we have all of this in our mindset, but we never move it to the next level of execution. Execution. So I've taught this principle over the world. I went straight to execution when I got to senior class. Everything I said I was going to do, I did all of them. That detail came. The principal of the school came with his entourage. We knew that was the day the announcement of prefect will happen. The hall was filled to the brim, and they began the announcement. So the name of the level prefect is one tall, I don't know why they used to give level prefect to tall people. One tall guy came out. The name of the food prefect is those who love food follow him. So the name of the senior prefect of this great institution, the name of the school captain of government secondary school is Master Linus Okori. They carried me on their shoulders and began to celebrate. So I looked at their faces, the same guys who laughed at me. And my first principle in life emerged. Write that down. My life does not depend on a third party. My life does not depend on government policies. My life doesn't depend on that. If you understand the power mindset I'm talking to you about, you will know your mindset does not depend on an entitlement mentality. How many of you know that most of us feel entitled? Yes, my uncle has money, is not supporting me. My business is suffering because my uncle is not supporting me. That's an entitlement mindset. My life does not depend on that. If I must become anything, including in tough, difficult times, including in time of recession, I must make the decision to do what? To generate a mindset of possibilities that I will succeed in times like this. That's the belief system that you need in this time. 100%, not 99. 99%, not 98. No, 99%, no. It has to be what? 100%, or you get out of the way. So possibilities. When you now think possibilities, what is the next line of action? You now begin to think what? Innovation. What can I do differently that can make me or my company outstanding? What can I reinvent? What can I bring to the marketplace? You see the thinking? The thinking is you begin to rise in innovation. And then The moment an idea begins to have some form and it becomes something real, what do? Have you ever introduced yourself before? I see a lot of people who want to do business and they are shy. You want to do business, you're shy. People look at those who talk a lot about the things they are doing. They say he's proud. They say he's what? Why is he bragging?
I too know.
Why is he bragging? But the man is selling his market. You don't understand. You don't understand. A few days ago, I had an opportunity to speak at a dinner of the APC Women National Convention just 2 days ago, 2 nights. It was a dinner. And I was on stage, very important people. The vice president was sitting there, everywhere, human beings. And of course, I used 5 minutes to give them the value I wanted. And I used a few seconds to invite you to the godly leadership center. I must sell what?
Market.
My market is my market that makes me continue being relevant. If I don't sell, I can't be relevant. You see that? So if you look at it, that's passion. Passion is how do you introduce yourself? How do you package yourself? You might have all the beautiful ideas, but the way you introduce yourself can make a whole big difference. My brother, what do?
I'm corporate right now, and at the same time, I'm a business enthusiast.
So you're a business enthusiast.
Yes, sir.
Right? What does that mean?
We basically I'm focused on building brands.
Building brands.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you look sharp, man. So he's focused on building brands. Now, an opportunity of his brand and what he does. Let me introduce him. I want to introduce this man so you can buy from him. So what's your name?
I'm a Burgane John Idogo.
Oh my God. John.
Yes.
John Idogo. Very distinguished, ladies and gentlemen. Standing there. We have come from a continent that is so rich but too poor, but for high deficit, which has caused us great shame, poverty and disgrace. But young emerging leaders in Africa can transform progress to jumpstart this conversation of rebranding Africa. It's a very distinguished impact. Marketing for many years has been quite. Next time, I'm not today. In Paris, talking about the possibilities of Africa. Today, it is my honor, ladies and gentlemen, to bring to the podium a very distinguished Nigerian, a young man filled with great possibilities, a great brand himself. Join me as I welcome my good friend and brother and one of Africa's best, Mr. John. How do you feel? How do you feel? Good. Thank you very much. Let's try to get up. What it means is that you must have the capacity at any point in time to introduce yourself in the shortest possible time, but you show so much passion that people are interested in what you've got to say. Power pitch. You cannot be every time you're feeling like you're dead and you're selling business. How can you? I see so many people, even the way they dress doesn't show that they are coming to the market with something. So you must energize your mind to be able to speak with passion and say the ability to be able to change as quickly as possible in order to be able to move yourself to the next level and get things done. So if you don't change when you have to change, what happens to you? Change comes and takes you away. typewriters. Remember typewriters? Where are they?
Gone.
Companies sacked many of them. When the computer age came, what happened? They did not tap into innovation, and they already have the skill sets.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's just upgrade.
Yes, sir.
Upgrade summits. Upgrade. Upgrade summits. Upgrade. It's just an upgrade they needed. Oh my God. You came to upgrade yourself, right?
Yes, sir.
Surely, several persons here will live here with sound ideas, tangible ideas that will change your economy. So, the next one is how do you communicate what you got? You know, communication is very powerful. There's a way you communicate, even when you don't have money, people will not know. You think that the economy responds to I don't have money? Does the marketplace respond to I don't have money? They meet somebody for the first time. Sir, I'm from a poor family. Nobody will help me. That's not the market that's not the language of the market. You must learn how to communicate in a certain way that puts you in front, that people want to connect with you. How do you communicate? These are some deep things that, as I make some progress, I'll share one or two things with you. How to communicate with a personal example on how I personally pull through in some things. Stretching in recession. Stretching in recession starts from what I call human what? Human what? Optimization. Human optimization. And do you know that 60% in a normal economy, normal system where everything is working, 60% of those human beings who walk the street, who do business, who run organizations, who are in government, over 60% of them are not optimized. What does it mean? 60% of human beings, some of them are your friends, they bring no value to the table. What did I say? 60%, they do what?
Bring no value to the table.
35% partially optimized. So they are inconsistent with the value they bring to the table. Today, they bring one value. The next day, what do they do?
Small things.
And then most of it is perceived value. You know what perceived value is?
Things they can do.
Perceived value is when a young man in Abuja dresses well, stands in transport meeting, and tells you, I am the SA to the senator representing so. And you're a businessman. You're excited. I have met my connector. Meanwhile, this guy is PA to the PA to the PA to the PA of the SA to the senator with no access. He comes in a car he has just hired somewhere and pulls out and he says, this man is my job. And for the lady, say, you saw the guy going today. Oh my God. That's the man. That's the man. One time he doesn't have it. But perception has been what? Created. So it's what you call packaging. It's what you call what? Packaging. The worst truth you need to hear is that packaging for the sake of packaging is not sustainable. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't package for too long. Right?
Yeah.
So that's perceived value. Only 5% of the human beings who walk in the surface of the earth are optimized. That they are human beings who bring value to the table consistently in a sustainable way. That they bring value consistently. So when you appear in the marketplace, what do? Every time they tap into you is value. In the music industry, can you remember a few names that have brought value, sustainable value over many years? That even though they are no more, you can see here about their songs.
Yes. Fella.
His song.
Do you understand? Chinua Achebe, You see that? So what is that thing, that set of value set that you can create, that can make it sustainable? That's what we're going to. If in normal economy, this is the statistics I've given you, what about in troubled times, in recession? What would it look like? What would it look like? You require more to be able to be more, to be able to deliver more value within the system. And it is that I'm going to now be talking to you about intensified value what? Creation. What does it mean to intensify your values? How many hours do you sit down to think? Let's face it. How many hours do you sit down to think? To think about an idea. An idea hits you. You run to the marketplace without the process of converting that idea into a product or a service. So an idea hits you, my brother. Your passion is ignited. You run to the marketplace. You go on television, they ask you questions. 2 questions they ask you. You say, you know. But the head, the mother hen, what does the mother hen do? The mother hen, in as far as the mother hen is on the egg, the mother hen requires 21 days. Is that correct? For hatching process. So when a stranger comes into the